Hey, what's up, guys? It's your boy Big J. Got another video for you guys. Today I am doing living room setup of video games. So I currently have my PS3 and PS2 set up in the living room. So technically I got a PS5 for you guys that seen the video earlier. PS3 I have is one of the first models. I didn't buy this originally. Somebody tossed it because they had the yellow light of death. I went to go get it fixed, and I never really owned the PS3 too much later, so I only really have two games for it, which is God of War Ascension, and this is God of War Collection. GameStop, and we have the very original cover. I'm gonna see if I can get one with the original cover because I like having original shit, and the other God of War games that were for the PSP, those I never beat. This Ascension I have to finish. I'm like stuck somewhere on it, but I have Marvel vs. Capcom playing in the background. You guys can see. This PS3, it does not play PS2 games. I know when a lot of these systems first dropped, they were backwards compatible, and Sony released a patch that removed the feature. So I'm guessing they took it out of this because it was updated. It does play PS1 games, so if you want to play the PS2 games, I have a PS2 right there, so that's what I'm going to do. Play some of these PS2 games and shit. So, show you guys, let me get started. I have 116 PS2 games. I was a big collector. A lot of these games I never finished. If you guys are from New York, familiar with the Wall Street area, there was a spot on Nassau Street. We used to call it the $40 spot. And these games, every game that came out brand new was sold for like 40 bucks. Or like a week or two later, somebody would beat it. And it was a used game, and I would pick them up. So a lot of these games were used, brand new, great condition, and I picked them up. So show you guys, this is a PSX code card, and this would you put in the back of your PS2 or PS1, and you would get cheat codes. Matter of fact, this was for PS1. This is how long I had this shit. And you can play, get cheats for it. But Sony became hip to it, and they started blocking this, and it made certain games unplayable if you used this, or if you had a modded system, even you wouldn't even be able to play certain games. So that's Sony for you. But let me get started with the collection, shall we? So we have here is Freedom Fighters, EA Games. I remember this. I beat this a few times. Shooter, single player. 13, Ubisoft. This was shell shaded animation. It got harder as it went on. Never finished it though. Batman, Rise of Shinju. They made this character strictly for this game, and I don't think they ever used him again for comics or anything. It's a shame because he was a pretty interesting character. And this was based off the animated series. Batman Begins. This is a pretty good game as well. First Batman movie with Christian Bale, Christopher Nolan. SmackDown just bring it. The Rock has always been my boy, but this is probably one of the most annoying games. Whenever you do a super move, the commentary is like just ridiculous. It's fucking. That's probably why I never got into too much wrestling games. Oh wow. Punisher. This is probably one of the most violent Punisher games that you can ever play. This was awesome from beginning to end. I remember buying this. Robotech Battle Cry. Awesome game. Very hard, very difficult stages. And fans of Robotech, I grew up watching this, and I remember recording these episodes from the Cartoon Network after school, and they never put the third season on. They only put the first 2 seasons, and the third season was never aired on Cartoon Network. But I believe it's on Netflix for those that are interested in watching. Let's see. This is a demo of this game called Dark Mirror. I remember PlayStation was popular for these. Collector CD. So this had Final Fantasy VII, Bushido Blade, Final Fantasy Tactics, Sega Frontier, and Einhander. Einhander was a good game. Very, very hard. You had like choose from 3 different spaceships, and you had to fight like these big mechs and stuff. Very cool game. Let me lower this because that's gonna get annoying if you guys watching too. Silent Hill 2. This is a classic. Pretty fucked up game and fucked up ending if you guys ever played this one. Silent Hill 3, direct sequel from Silent Hill 1, if you guys ever played it. Also a good game. Silent Hill 4, The Room. This one I never finished because I got stuck on the end. This guy keeps chasing you and attacking you, and I believe that's the very end of the fucking game, but I never finished it. This one I gotta see if I get back into it one day. Let's see. Van Helsing, made off of the movie with Hugh Jackman. It's pretty good. Not too shabby game. Nano Breaker. It's another game I think I never finished. Probably was too hard. I got a love-hate relationship with Grand Theft Auto. I gotta admit, a lot of these Grand Theft Auto games I never beat. I bought them straight off the hype, and I loved them, but there was just too much shit to do, and some of the missions were hard, and I never finished. So it's Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. I remember wanting to buy this, and the guy selling it, he wanted just to sell it for like $65 just off the hype. I was like, I'm not paying $65 for this. Fuck out of here. Wound up buying it at Chinatown, regular price $50. And this is the original version. It has the hot coffee sex game in it, and you had to use a Game Shark to play it anyway. But this is the original version of it. Let's see. Grand Theft Auto, Liberty City Stories. This was a PSP game. This one was actually had some hard missions. Never finished it either. Grand Theft Auto Vice City Stories. Another one I never finished. It was a PSP game. Max Payne. This is a fucking dope game that introduced bullet time. I love this. I finished this definitely with part 2 and part 3. Max Payne 2, Fall of Max Payne. Finish this. Manhunt. This is a fucking crazy game. I beat this one. Fortunately, part 2 I never finished. A lot of these I gotta get back into, like I said. Let's see. With Grand Theft Auto, there was a lot of clones after that. So, True Crime Streets of LA. You guys remember this? I finished this one, I believe. True Crime New York City. This one I think I never finished. This one I never finished. The Getaway. Another GTA clone. This I never finished on. I believe you play as 2 different people in this game. I think I got up to the 2nd person and never finished it. 25 to Life, another GTA game, clone, never finished. Mafia, another GTA clone. I don't know, this one, it was a little bit too slow for me to get into. Never finished it. God of War, PlayStation Classic. Love this game from beginning to end. Love the whole series. So this is the original one. God of War 2. Extermination. Never finished it. This was a Resident Evil clone, and it was based in some ice base, and there was like monsters and shit everywhere. But this was a fucking hard game too. This one I gotta get back into see if I finish. Let's see what else we got here. The Bouncer by Squaresoft. So this is Squaresoft's attempt to make a side scroller. This was pretty cool. The only thing is, to achieve the true ending, you had to level up all 3 characters max and then play the whole fucking game all over to get a true ending. But this was a cool game. Jet Li Rise to Honor. This was actually pretty dope. I don't remember if I think I finished it, but it became repetitive with bullet time games like after Max Payne. Scarface, The World Is Yours game. This is another GTA clone, but except Tony dying at the end of Scarface, he survived and he plans on getting revenge. This I never finished either, but collector's edition. Let's see. Castlevania, Lament of Innocence. I love Castlevania games, but this shit was hard as hell. Had giant bosses. Another game I never finished. The Thing, based off the movie. Hard as hell too. Never finished it. Okay. So this is Activision's take on SpiderMan with a GTA type vibe. These were based off the SpiderMan movies with Tobey Maguire. SpiderMan 1. SpiderMan 2. SpiderMan 3. These 3 I finished. I definitely know I finished all 3 of them. Huge Spider-Man fan, so. Okay, this is called Narc. Never finished it, but this was an interesting game. You start off as a regular cop walking the beat, and as you level up, you become undercover cop, and you had to bust certain people, and you can do drugs and everything in this game. So it was fucking wild, but I never finished it. I think After you finish it, you unlock the original NARC game from years ago. It was an arcade game. This game is fucking crazy. The Suffering. So this is about a guy that supposedly killed his wife, and he had a dark side to him. Turns into a monster. Most of the game you're in a prison, and everybody in the prison is like some type of mutated monster. You have like a scientist or warden. This shit was just insane, but very scary too. There's a part 2 to this. I have it somewhere, but I finished both of them. Very dark game. 10 True Wrath of Heaven. I believe I beat this one. This had newer characters in it, and very good game made by Activision. We're getting into the fighting games. So, Tekken 4, made by Namco. Very great series. I think I have almost every Tekken game. Dead to Rights Part 2. He had the dog with him. He used to sick him on certain enemies. Great game. Dead to Rights Part 1. Okay. The Suffering, the Ties That Bind. So yeah, this is the Suffering Part 2 to complete the story. Made by Midway, same people that did Mortal Kombat. Tekken Tag Tournament. Spawn Armageddon. This one I never finished because I got stuck at the end somewhere. I gotta pick this back up and play this bad boy. This was a decent game. Kill Switch. Very hard game. I remember playing a demo of this game with a friend of mine named Joel, and me and him was switching places trying just to beat one level. It was just so many obstacles just to beat the level, and it was a demo that we played first, and then after the demo I decided to buy this game. It's a good game. Blood Rain. Blood Rain, based off the movies. They have comic books as well. She's a vampire that hunts vampires, similar to Blade. Blood Rain 2. Guilty Gear Asuka. Now, these games have to be created by a madman, because every Guilty Gear game I played, fucking hard as hell. Like, just impossible to beat the last boss. Like, you gotta do some crazy shit. You gotta be a really experienced gamer to beat these games. Guilty Gear XX Core. There's so many of these. So, let me see what else we have here. Gungrave, made by Sega. There's also anime of this. This was pretty good. I believe the guy was killed and brought back to life, and he's out for revenge on the guy that killed him. This is another game, another finish. Shinobi, Sega. Got stuck somewhere. Another one I never finished. Nightshade, spin-off of Shinobi. These I used to love, and Dynasty Warriors 2. Dynasty Warriors 1 was originally a PS1 game, and it was a fighting game. So after part 1, they changed the format, and if you ever seen it, it's one person, and you're fighting a whole bunch of people on screen. You ride on horses and do all these crazy power moves and all that shit. So, Dynasty Warriors 3. Dynasty Warriors 4. Tomb Raider Angel of Darkness. So this was the first Tomb Raider game that came out for the PS2, because they did 5 of them for the PS1, and then when they switched systems, they did this one. This is probably one of the worst of the bunch. I never finished this one either. I think this probably had the lowest rating of any Tomb Raider game. So, Legacy of Kain series, this was my shit growing up. Blood Omen 2, this was a good game. Legacy of Kain Defiance. I think this was the final one of the series. Soul Reaver 2. Legacy of Kain series. Dynasty Warriors 5. I think this was the last one that I bought for the PS2. Galarian's Ash. So there was a Galarian's game for the PS1 that you had powers. The other kids had like psychic powers and stuff, and there was these people after them, and you had to use certain powers to stop them. Telekinetic powers and stuff. Guilty Gear X, hard game like I said before. Guilty Gear X2. Prince of Persia, The Two Thrones. It's a hard game, never finished. Rygar. This I got deep into it, but the bosses just got very, very hard to beat on a possible stage. Never finished it. You guys remember there was an old school arcade game. People used to pump quarters into it like nothing. Dead or Alive 2 Hardcore, another fighting game, classic. Bujin Guy, another game I never finished. It was dope though. This was like a samurai, and you had to fight all weird types of creatures and stuff. But very good game made by Tieto. Guys that had Nintendo, this was a popular company back in the days. Okay, so Into the Matrix. So this game was takes place between Matrix Revolutions and Reloaded. So if you wanted the full story, you had to play this game too. Play with I think the Asian guy's name was Ghost, and Jada Pinkett's character was Niobe, something like that, if I'm not mistaken. And this is the Matrix Path of Neo, and this one came after. You had to fight Agent Smith on this. Pretty good game. Gungrave Overdose, the sequel to the first Gungrave game. Only Rockstar Game. They didn't do too well, but I kind of like this one. It was alright. Speaking of Rockstar, The Warriors, a game made by Rockstar, and this was signed by most of the cast from the Warriors movie, and this one I am never gonna let go. I also didn't finish this game either, so I have to finish this record, man. Being a Warriors fan. Grand Theft Auto 3, classic, never finished. Grand Theft Auto Vice City, another classic, never finished. Cold Fear, Resident Evil Rift-Off, never finished. Prince of Persia, Sands of Time, never finished. Prince of Persia, Warrior Within, never finished. Tekken 5, I definitely finished this with every character. Ridge Racer 5, this was a cool game. Christmas present, I remember back in the days when I first got my PS2. Soul Calibur 2, finished this with everybody. Soul Calibur 3, finished this with everybody. Xenosaga Episode 1. I do not think I finished this game either. This was, I vaguely remember this. Gauntlet Dark Legacy. This was fun. You had to keep leveling up your character, but I don't think this game had an end in sight. It was just like on and on and on. But one I definitely have to pick up again. So let's see. Honor of Mortal Kombat, Shaolin Monks. Then you had Liu Kang and Kung Lao. This was a cool game, but never finished it. Gotta pick it up again. Metal Slug Anthology. So this had every single Metal Slug. Metal Slug 1, 2, Metal Slug X, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So this was a cool collection. I spent hours playing this shit. So, Darkness, my old friend. I gotta tell you a story about these 3 games. So, Killzone, Final Fantasy X, and Final Fantasy X2. So, I was well into Final Fantasy X towards the end, towards the last boss, and wound up buying Killzone. So, Killzone, in order to save the game, you had to format the memory card. At that time, I did not know what format meant. Went ahead, formatted the memory card. My saved data for this, gone completely. So, I never finished these games, and these were the last Final Fantasy games I ever bought. And because of this motherfucker right here, never finished it. But this game, I remember playing hard as hell. I haven't finished it either, so I was pissed off with all 3. But now that I know that it's a format memory card type deal, most likely gonna pick this up again and finish it. Chaos Legion by Capcom. This was a cool game, had to do a lot with magic and swords, sorcery. Never finished, got all the way towards the end, couldn't beat it. Very hard game, very hard game. Beautiful Joe. First one I finished, second one got stuck on when I finished it. Devil May Cry, I beat this 100 times over. Let's see. Devil May Cry 2, finished it. Devil May Cry 3, finished. Capcom Fighting Evolution. This is a cool game. I'll finish this with every character. This is the last game. A few more, so bear with me. Street Fighter Anniversary Collection. This had Street Fighter 3 Third Strike and Street Fighter 2. So this was a cool game. And I believe it had Street Fighter 2 animated movie on one of the discs as well. Street Fighter Alpha Anthology. So this had every Street Fighter Alpha 1, 2, and 3, and then a bonus part 2. I completely forgot about this game. Final Fight had a Streetwise game. I believe I finished this years ago. Another game I never finished, Shadow of Rome. This was pretty cool, but you were a gladiator, and it switched between a gladiator and a guy sneaking around to get to certain areas. So I like this game, but I got stuck on a certain part. Getting towards the home stretch. So Devil Kings. Devil Kings was Capcom's take on a Dynasty Warriors game. So had the same elements, but it was a rip on Dynasty Warriors. Onimusha Warlords. I finished this 100 times. This was the first game I bought when I got the PS2. One of my favorites. Onimusha 2. Beat this 100 times over. Onimusha 3, Demon Siege. Had Gene Reno in there from The Professional. Finished this. Had multiple choices for different endings. Onimusha Dawn of Dreams. This was the 4th game of the series, and I never finished this one. This one had some really hard bosses on this, so one I have to pick up again. Let's see. Ooh. Resident Evil 4. Classic. Resident Evil Code Veronica X. Finished that. Now, these are possibly the 2 hardest Resident Evil games that came out because you had to play these online. Never finished it. Resident Evil Outbreak, File 1 and File 2. Never finished these. These were fucking hard as hell. Let's see. These are final games. Resident Evil Dead Aim. I bought this game used for $30 and I beat it within 2 hours. So I'm glad I didn't spend any money on this game. Possibly one of the weakest games. It was a gun game, but you can use your PS2 controller to shoot around. 2-hour game, $30. Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance. This was a cool fucking game. I finished this one. Fortunately, the second one, never finished it. 50 Cent Bulletproof. Never finished this game. This shit was hard as hell. With the lock on for the gun and everything like that. X Squad. This was one of the first games I got with the PS2 as well. I don't remember if I ever finished this one. Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers. I finished this. I'm a big Lord of the Rings fan. Lord of the Rings, Return of the King. Finished it definitely. Blade 2. I finished this definitely. And that's the end of the list. Thank you guys for watching. It's a pretty lengthy video. It's a lot of games. Just giving my feedback and my experience with these games. Some of them hold sentimental value. Thank you guys for watching. I'm going to continue to put out more stuff. I got some other stuff to cover, and try to put out something on a daily basis. I'm breaking it up, and I'm gonna work on a few other systems and a few other throwbacks. So hope you guys enjoy. Peace, love, hair grease. Have a good night and stay safe. Later.